Cystic fibrosis, or CF, is an autosomal recessive disorder affecting multiple epithelial tissues throughout the body. It is fundamentally an exocrine disease caused by mutations in the gene encoding the cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator, or CFTR. This protein functions as an anion channel located on the apical or luminal membrane of epithelial cells, where it regulates chloride and bicarbonate transport, thereby controlling the volume and composition of exocrine secretions. Although CF affects multiple organs, the overwhelming majority of morbidity and mortality results from progressive pulmonary disease. The hallmark abnormality is the production of copious, hyperviscous, highly adherent respiratory secretions that obstruct the small and medium-sized airways. Because these secretions are exceptionally difficult to clear, they create an ideal environment for persistent microbial colonization. At the same time, impaired mucociliary clearance prevents effective removal of inhaled pathogens, establishing the foundation for chronic airway infection and progressive respiratory deterioration. The microbiology of cystic fibrosis evolves in a characteristic pattern. During early childhood, organisms such as Staphylococcus aureus and Haemophilus influenzae commonly colonize the airways. As the disease progresses, Pseudomonas aeruginosa becomes the dominant pathogen and represents one of the most important determinants of long-term prognosis. An early colonization episode often establishes lifelong infection with the same bacterial strain, making eradication increasingly difficult as the disease advances. Over many years within the cystic fibrosis airway, Pseudomonas aeruginosa undergoes adaptive evolution. It gradually develops a characteristic mucoid phenotype by producing an extracellular polysaccharide known as alginate. This alginate forms a protective biofilm around the bacteria, shielding them from host immune defenses and reducing antibiotic penetration. Consequently, mucoid Pseudomonas survives within the airways despite aggressive treatment and becomes strongly associated with accelerated decline in lung function and poorer overall prognosis. Persistent bacterial infection triggers an intense neutrophil-predominant inflammatory response. However, the inflammatory reaction intended to eliminate pathogens paradoxically causes extensive collateral damage to the surrounding lung tissue. It represents a self-perpetuating vicious cycle of mucus retention, chronic infection, inflammation, tissue injury, worsening airway obstruction, and further impairment of mucus clearance. Upper airway disease is also extremely common in cystic fibrosis. Radiographic evidence of chronic sinusitis is present in the majority of patients. Importantly, microorganisms isolated from the paranasal sinuses often resemble those cultured from the lower respiratory tract. This observation suggests that the chronically infected sinuses function as a bacterial reservoir capable of repeatedly seeding the lower airways, thereby contributing to recurrent pulmonary infections and persistence of respiratory pathogens despite treatment. The pancreas represents the second major organ system affected in cystic fibrosis. In fact, the original name of the disease, cystic fibrosis of the pancreas, reflects the profound pathological changes occurring within the exocrine pancreas. Progressive ductal obstruction by thick secretions leads to extensive fibrotic scarring, fatty replacement, cyst formation, progressive loss of acinar tissue, and eventual destruction of normal pancreatic architecture. These structural abnormalities ultimately result in severe exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. The underlying mechanism closely parallels what occurs in the lungs. Thick, tenacious exocrine secretions, sometimes referred to as pancreatic concretions, obstruct the pancreatic ducts. As a consequence, digestive enzymes fail to reach the duodenum in adequate amounts. The resulting exocrine pancreatic insufficiency produces chronic malabsorption, particularly of fats, leading to steatorrhea, poor weight gain, impaired growth, and deficiencies of the fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. These nutritional consequences are often among the earliest systemic manifestations of the disease. Several laboratory findings directly reflect pancreatic dysfunction. Blood immunoreactive trypsinogen becomes elevated because pancreatic injury allows leakage of trypsinogen into the circulation. This forms the basis of newborn screening programs for cystic fibrosis in many countries. In contrast, fecal elastase 1 levels become markedly reduced because inadequate pancreatic enzyme secretion reaches the intestinal lumen. Consequently, fecal elastase measurement has become a reliable non-invasive marker of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency in clinical practice. Pancreatic disease eventually extends beyond the exocrine component. Progressive destruction of pancreatic tissue also involves the endocrine islets, resulting in cystic fibrosis-related diabetes mellitus, commonly abbreviated as CFRD. More than 30% of adults with cystic fibrosis develop this complication. The pathogenesis is multifactorial, involving progressive loss of insulin-producing beta cells, endocrine pancreatic dysfunction, and in some patients, additional contributions from insulin resistance and other metabolic abnormalities. The pathological consequences of CFTR dysfunction are not confined to the lungs and pancreas. Virtually every exocrine organ producing fluid secretions may be affected. Within the liver, thick secretions obstruct the intrahepatic bile ducts, producing chronic cholestatic injury and progressive parenchymal fibrosis. Over time, some patients develop multilobular cirrhosis, which occurs in approximately 4 to 15% of individuals with cystic fibrosis. Significant hepatic insufficiency may subsequently develop, particularly during adulthood. In addition to cirrhosis, several other hepatic manifestations are well recognized. These include hepatic steatosis, focal biliary fibrosis, and portal hypertension. Although pulmonary complications remain the principal cause of mortality, hepatic disease contributes substantially to long-term morbidity and requires ongoing surveillance in patients with established cystic fibrosis. The gastrointestinal tract is similarly affected by abnormal secretions. Hyperviscous intestinal contents become difficult to propel through the bowel, leading to mechanical obstruction. In newborns, this typically presents as meconium ileus, which may be one of the earliest clinical manifestations of cystic fibrosis. In older children and adults, the corresponding condition is termed distal intestinal obstructive syndrome, or DIOS, resulting from accumulation of thick intestinal contents within the distal small intestine and proximal colon. The reproductive system is also significantly affected. Nearly all males with cystic fibrosis exhibit congenital involution or absence of the vas deferens. Importantly, spermatogenesis usually remains intact, meaning sperm production is preserved. However, because the vas deferens is absent or non-functional, sperm cannot be transported into the ejaculate. Consequently, approximately 99% of males with cystic fibrosis are infertile, although biological fatherhood remains possible through assisted reproductive techniques involving sperm retrieval and in vitro fertilization. Female fertility is comparatively less affected, but is still reduced compared with the general population. Thick, viscid secretions within the female reproductive tract interfere with normal sperm transport and fertilization, contributing to a higher incidence of infertility. Unlike males, complete infertility is uncommon, and many women with cystic fibrosis are capable of conceiving. Nevertheless, reproductive counseling forms an important component of long-term multidisciplinary care. And that's our deep dive on clinical features of cystic fibrosis. In the next part, we will discuss the pathophysiology, diagnosis, and treatment options available for cystic fibrosis. If you found this video valuable, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe for more high-yield content. Thanks for being part of our community, and we'll see you in the next video.